Hello again, guys. This session is about authentication. Now, authentication means giving somebody the right to access your SQL server. So basically, in SQL Server, we have two modes of authentication. One is Windows authentication, and the other is the SQL Server authentication. These are the only two ways that you can give someone access to your SQL. Now, what is the difference between Windows authentication and SQL Server authentication? If you use Windows authentication, it means anybody that has access to your Windows can still have access to your SQL. Meaning, on your Windows server, which we will be doing practically, we can create user accounts for our users in the domain. So those people that have access to our Windows domain can still have access to your SQL even though you don't create the username and password. So when you set your computer to your server, SQL server, to Windows authentication, it means people that are already having access to your server or your domain can still come in and log into your SQL. Now, if you set it to mixed mode or Windows, or sorry, on SQL, it means only genuine SQL users can have access to your SQL, even if they don't have access to Windows on your domain. But as long as you create the account and you change the mode to the SQL authentication, you can have access to your server. So how do we change that? How do we know that whether this server is set to Windows or is set to SQL? So it's simple. Just right click on your server name and access properties. Then on the properties, look for security and then click on security. Then you can see that it says server authentication. It has Windows authentication mode, SQL server, and Windows authentication mode. Now this is for Windows, meaning all Windows users, if you set it to Windows, all Windows users will be able to access your server even they don't have user accounts on your SQL server. But if you set it to SQL and Windows authentication mode, it means these users, they can have either user accounts in Windows or on your SQL, which we're coming to do next. So this is just for you to know the difference between the Windows authentication and the SQL server authentication. So if you want to set it, just move your mouse and click, and then you click OK. And then I'm setting it back to SQL because this is more secure in terms of security. This is the most secure one. So this is how you change it.